So here is our objective today, the peach tree.
Hi everybody, welcome back to Ponderosa Garden Adventures. We garden here in Southern California Zone 10A. I'm Sharon.
I'm Mark, and today we're kicking off the 2025 season. It's beginning of February, and one of the first things we do every year is maintenance of our fruit trees.
Peach tree.
Yeah, what we call our orchard. We have 2 peaches, we have a pear tree, a plum tree, an apple tree, one apple tree, but it has 5 different kinds of apples
Right, fruit
on
salad.
it. And so we call it kind of an orchard. It's one of the first things we do every year, every season, because you have to do it before they start to blossom. And the first one that blossoms is the desert gold peach behind us, which in fact is already blossoming. And you can probably see some honeybees buzzing around. So we are a little bit late, but that is on account of a lot of severe weather in January. We had some very high winds for several weeks in a row.
Long stretch of Santa Ana's where our temperatures were in the 70s for probably at least half of the month. And so the peach tree, it's kind of a false spring, kicked off a little early.
We're getting a little bit of a late start, but not too late. And so today what we're going to do is show you basic maintenance we do on our fruit trees, and we'll be working on the desert gold, which is basically trim and spray. And we like to do it end of winter, like we're midwinter right now, as the trees are dormant, but closer to spring, closer to the blossoming, rather than beginning of fall when they first go dormant. So this is typically when we do it. Like I said, we're just a couple weeks behind. We'll be able to catch up.
It was a year ago this weekend that we were doing this. It just hadn't quite broken blossom yet. There's a couple of things we want to make sure we do. Anytime you're trimming fruit trees, you want to make sure to get rid of anything that's dead or diseased, branches that are crossing. And for us today, one of the key things we want to do is we want to take care of the height. We love this tree. It gives us lots of fruit, but it's getting really tall. It grew tremendously last season, and so we want to make sure that we keep that height within check. We don't want to have to get on the ladder to harvest the fruit, and so we're going to be paying special attention to that today.
And not only that, but if you have fruit trees, you know, one of the biggest concerns is if there's too much fruit on a branch or a set of branches, it can break off a branch or even topple the tree over. So when we trim, we have to think in terms of load-bearing branches and, you know, which stems are going to be bearing fruit, and trim accordingly. And I'm going to show you now the tools that we use. I'm going to wear a thick pair of gloves. For working in close on small little twigs and branches, I've got 2 clippers. This one's my favorite. We love Fiskar, so I have a really nice pair of Fiskar clippers, which is my go-to. This is my backup, a pair of
Those Coronas.
These are Coronas that I usually use for only for roses, but in case something happens to this one, it's nice to have a backup. And then moving up to some of the larger branches, we'll use loppers like this. Now this is a very inexpensive one. You can get it at a discount store and for about $5 or $10. They're kind of hard to use, as you can see, though. They get rusty. Again, I like the Fiskars. It has a gear here, so the mechanism is very easy to work, and you get a lot of leverage for those branches. So this will take anything up to about almost an inch, about 3/4 of an inch. And then for the really big stuff, and for the high up branches, we're going to try and avoid standing on ladders and stools and stuff this year. We've had this tool for a very long time. This is one of our favorite tools.
Again, it's a Fiskar.
You can tell by the color it's a Fiskar. And it is, what do you call this thing anyway? Does it have a
It's
type?
an extension trimmer.
It's an extension trimmer. Why don't you grab that? There,
I will.
there we go. And so you can see, It has a blade you can use for cutting off branches, but we don't expect to do this because we're really going to be working in gentle, like, and small branches.
Smaller branches,
yeah.
right. This tree is 5 years old, but most of the branches are not terribly big that we're going to be trimming today. So down here, it has a little blade that works on this mechanism. You get your branch in there, and you can pull this down at the end of the pole there. There you go. You can see how wide it opens up.
And you can see if you're holding it like at the very end, a couple feet, it will extend. It'll get you up about 10 feet. And that's about as high as we want this tree to get. It
actually extends longer if we needed it to, but I'm shorter to the ground. And so for me, this is enough weight for me.
Look at that.
But,
okay.
Yeah.
But today, we're really only going to go about 10 feet. And this, just with the orange part of the handle, will be fine.
Should work really well.
And you've had this for a number of years.
I've had this for about 8 years, and it works fantastic.
So anyway, and so yeah, we'll have more episodes, show you the tools we use. We are not experts, but we just like to share with you what we do in our gardens.
Experienced home gardeners. We've been doing this a really long time. We know, again, this is what works for us, and so we always say do your own research, but we can tell you here in Zone 10 what works, and that's what we're trying to bring to you today.
All right, well, we're going to get started, but right off the bat, it's already middle of the afternoon, and this typically takes a couple days, especially because, again, it's not like you can just start lopping off branches. You need to pause, step back, look at the whole tree.
Here's the thing. Aesthetically, I need it to look the way I want it to look. And so our method is that Mark generally has the clippers and the extension cutter. And I'm like, take that one and that one, not that one, this one over here, because I've got that view of the whole view of the tree, the whole shape of the tree. This tree was bought for our front yard. And so it's the first really big thing you see when you come to our house. And so it's beautiful when it's blossoming, and we want to make sure that the shape stays nice and that it's not impeding our walkways and it's not growing bigger than we want it to. And again, we want to make sure in all of our trees that we've got balance, that the shape is good, that we're kind of leaning. I don't really like the vase shape, but I really like a rounded canopy, but you want to make sure that you've got a nice open center so that there's good air circulation. It's for the health of the tree as well. So
it helps prevent disease, because if the air doesn't circulate, then moisture can collect and mold spores,
fungus
and things like that.
Right.
So that's the plan. It's going to take us a couple of days. We'll be back to wrap things up at the end. Thanks for watching, and let's get started. Let's go. Trimming. Yeah.
There you go.
There we go.
I got that.
Yeah.
Ha-ha.
It's about how much we need to take off.
Very excited. Another thing we do when we're pruning is to check when you do make a cut and see what the wood looks like. And this is really, really fresh. It's all green, no disease, no pests. So the top part's looking really good. Also, point out that when I cut it at an angle, not straight across like this, so that if water, when it rains, the water will run off instead of collecting on a flat surface. All right, let's get back to cutting. All right. Oh, perfect. Yeah, I had to do it with my right hand. It's much easier. Okay, and just to show you, this one was still alive. This is a fresh cut. You see that green around there, and the inside will be a nice light beige color, whereas this can be dark, even all the way to dark or black. So cut off the dead wood now or anytime you see it, but we've cleared out a nice area on the inside there. But it goes a little further out.
Yeah. And
also, if we have both of these branches and not this one, it's going to weigh it down a little bit.
Think about the one in your hand right now. If that one were gone and we had the two off of that same branch.
This will be more balanced.
Yeah.
Right here?
Yes.
I don't know if this is thick enough. Let's see. I mean, this might be too thick. Let's see. Oh, that cut very nicely.
That already looks better from over here.
Oh, and it's much more balanced. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not bearing your fruit. Do you want to go all the way down on this one?
Yeah.
Cut that completely off.
Yep.
Nice. This one we can go because it's
right about below that one right there. Yeah, right below that one you see. Yep, right there. And the one
right
above it, above that one. Yep, right there. There we go.
This is the sad part. Is you know that all these little buds you're cutting off would have been peaches, but this will literally make hundreds and hundreds of peaches even after we cut. All right, still in the sunlight too. Nice.
Got it. Yes, right exactly where you're going with it. Down lower, right there. There we go.
Oh, wow. Nicely done.
Yeah.
Here, just cut off right there, same
Yep.
distance.
You can get both of those actually.
Yeah, no, this one.
Again, make sure it's above the collar. That collar's a little thicker. Yep.
This one too.
Yeah, you can see.
A little bit.
And this one also looks. The one below that.
Below that here?
Yeah, that right there. Yeah, that way it'll come this angle.
Hi, we're almost done. We're done with the trimming for today, and actually it's probably going to be a few days before we finish the trimming. So in the meantime, we're going to apply some fungicide spray. This is a copper fungicide. Again, we're not sponsored by this. It's just what they sell at our local nursery. And copper is a natural fungicide, so we're just going to spray it on the trunk. The thing is, you don't want to do it while pollinators are around, so we've waited here till late in the evening just as the sun's going down, and they're all heading off now, and then I'm just going to hit the trunk with it. So be sure to shake it up really well. Copper is heavy, it's a metal, so it's going to sink to the bottom. Spray this on directly on the trunk, get it nice and wet. This will kill things like peach leaf curl before have a chance to settle it. Put some fertilizer in, and these are just little bricks of organic fertilizer. You just stick in the ground, bury it a couple inches below the dirt around the perimeter of the tree, and this will last till March or June easily. I only feed them about once or twice a season, but right now it's starting to flower. Time to get these in. All right. We just put this about 3 feet from the base of the trunk there. I can use this dandelion weeder. I don't have to go that far. That's far enough. The mulch, and we're done. So I'll bury this one and 2 whole other ones around the perimeter. So another reason this takes more than 1 day is we have a philosophy. We don't want to cut too much off of a plant in 1 day. Don't want to give it too much of a shock. So we're going to call it a day. We've got the main high branches off without having to use a ladder. Yay. We've got a lot around the outside. We've got the basic shape. We just need to go in and clean out some of the smaller branches that are going up. It's not going to take long. So this year went much faster than last year, but we will have another day to do this. We'll be back tomorrow. See you then.